Subtitle. Inside your body, there's something that almost no one has explained to you, and without exaggeration, it can change everything. Between muscles, bones, and organs, there is a kind of invisible highway, a channel so powerful that depending on how it's working, it can turn your life into a battlefield or a sanctuary of peace. There's a nerve that, when you activate it consciously, does something almost magical. Your mind stops running as if it were fleeing from a fire. Your heart stabilizes, and that feeling of being broken inside starts to come back together. And no, it's not cheap poetry, it's biology. And it's also something deeper. It's the central regulator of your internal balance, the switch that decides whether your body lives in survival mode or in healing mode. This nerve originates in the mind. From the base of the brain, it goes down the neck, wraps around the heart, passes through the lungs, and connects with almost all your vital organs. It's the most important bridge between what you think and what your body experiences. That's why ancient traditions, when the body wasn't seen as a machine but as a temple, already sensed its existence. They didn't have brain scanners, but they had sensitivity. And they knew there was an invisible channel through which the spirit communicated with matter. They called it the spirit thread. Today's science calls it the vagus nerve. Two names, one truth. We'll explore both worlds on this journey. First, what science has discovered, how it regulates stress, inflammation, digestion, and the ability to heal. But what's really interesting is what's beyond the medical data. Activating this nerve isn't just about relaxing. It's not just take a deep breath and that's it. It's an act of reconnection. It's about realigning your body with your consciousness. In the next few minutes, you'll understand why modern life has disconnected this system in most of us. Why we live in a constant state of alert, exhausted without knowing exactly why. And most importantly, you'll discover simple, profound practices that in just 2 minutes a day can reactivate this inner power. 2 minutes, not 2 hours on a mountain, 2 real minutes. But first we need to look at it from two perspectives, the scientific and the spiritual. Only when both overlap does the complete picture appear. From the spiritual perspective, the ancient masters understood this nerve as the physical channel of the soul. Imagine your consciousness as a source of light. That light needs a wire, a conduit, something that translates it into concrete signals for your body. The vagus nerve is that wiring, a kind of biological fiber optic cable that turns the whispers from inside you into real chemical instructions. It's what allows your mental state to affect your health, for peace to become physiology, or for fear to turn into inflammation. And this is where science unintentionally ended up confirming something similar. Medically speaking, the vagus nerve is the main regulator of the parasympathetic nervous system. In other words, it's the system responsible for activating rest, digestion, repair, and regeneration. When it's active, it tells your heart to beat slower and more coherently. It tells your digestive system to function as it should. And, most importantly, it tells your immune system that it can turn off chronic inflammation. In other words, it's the biological switch for healing. And this is where both perspectives come together. What the ancients called prana, vital energy. Science sees it as nervous system regulation and physiological balance. Different languages, same reality. And if this is the channel where the vital energy is found, the inevitable question is, what state is yours in right now? Prana is not just a nice concept for spiritual books. It is the breath that sustains life. It is the current that unites mind, body, and spirit into a single system. This is where it gets interesting. The vagus nerve connects the brain with the heart, the lungs, and the gut, precisely the three major centers where we process energy. And emotion, and information. It's like the main river through which that vital force flows. When this nerve is active, something measurable happens. The heart and the brain enter into coherence. They literally start to synchronize. And in that state, the body becomes organized and consciousness expands. They're not two different things. It's not the physical on one side and the spiritual on the other. It's the same thing seen from two angles, harmony. But to activate that state, first you have to understand the terrain where the battle is fought, your own nervous system. Imagine it like a car with two pedals, accelerator and brake. Taoist philosophies called it yin and yang. Science calls it the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic is the accelerator, young energy, pure survival. It's the famous fight or flight mode. When it's activated, your heart races, your pupils dilate. Blood rushes to your muscles and your body releases adrenaline and cortisol. It's a brilliant system. It has saved us as a species thousands of times. The problem is that today we're not running from tigers. We're running from notifications, deadlines, traffic, numbers in a bank account. And your nervous system doesn't know the difference. For it, stress is stress. A threat is a threat. And if you push it all day, it responds all day. We live with the accelerator pressed to the floor, without pause, without respite. The result, exhaustion, anxiety, inflammation, and that constant feeling that something isn't right even when everything is fine. That's where the break comes in, the yin energy, the parasympathetic system, and the main one responsible for activating it is the vagus nerve. When it's strong and active, it sends a clear signal. The danger is over. You can let your guard down. At that moment, the heart regulates itself. Your breathing deepens. Digestion wakes up. The immune system stops attacking and starts repairing. And here comes a truth that many don't want to hear. The body can't fight and heal at the same time. It doesn't have infinite resources. If all your energy is spent surviving on the outside, there's nothing left to rebuild yourself on the inside. That's why healing can't happen from tension. You can't regenerate while your soul believes it's still at war. Healing begins when the system receives a clear message. You are safe. The vagus nerve is exactly that. It's sending that command to the body. It's telling it, you don't have to run anymore. You can come back home. You can start to rebuild yourself. And now that we understand that this nerve is the switch between stress and peace, we can go deeper. For the ancient mystery schools, activating this channel wasn't just about relaxing for 5 minutes. It was inner alchemy. They used biology as a gateway, an entryway to higher states of consciousness. They didn't separate body and spirit. They knew that by regulating the nervous system, they were opening an inner portal. And this is where the question changes completely. And what if what you always called stress was actually a spiritual disconnection disguised as a modern routine? In Hermetic traditions and in certain currents of Western esotericism, they spoke of a force that ascended the spine like an inner serpent, a sleeping dragon waiting to awaken. In India, that same energy was described as Kundalini rising through the central channel, the Sushumna, activating the chakras as it passes. Now pay attention to this, the anatomical path of the vagus nerve from the brain to the abdomen. Well, if you compare it to that ancient energy map, it's too much of a coincidence to ignore. That's why, for many initiates, the vagus nerve wasn't just a biological cable, it was the physical channel of that inner serpent. Stimulating it didn't just mean relaxing, it meant allowing the sacred energy to rise again. From a metaphysical perspective, everything fits. Your spirit inhabits a body, but when you live in constant stress, that connection weakens. The mind gets trapped in worries. The body goes into survival mode, and the communication between them starts to fail. You disconnect. Stimulating the vagus nerve is repairing that bridge. It's bringing back together what should never have been separated. Think of it that way. The heart has always been seen as the seat of the soul, where intuition is born, where you feel before you think. The brain is the center of rational consciousness, the part that interprets the world. The vagus nerve is the direct highway between them. When you live in tension, that highway is blocked. The heart feels something, but the scared mind goes in another direction, and that's where the internal conflict begins. When you activate the vagus nerve, you don't just lower stress. You restore coherence. The flow starts circulating again. The heart can speak, the mind can listen. That's what's really happening. It's not a trendy exercise, it's an act of unification. It's using your own biology as a sacred tool to move from fragmentation to wholeness. Your body is not a defective machine that needs constant patching. It's an instrument designed to connect earth and sky. The problem is that nobody taught us how to tune it. So now the inevitable question is, how do we activate it in real life? Not at a spiritual retreat in the Himalayas. Here in your routine, there are simple, ancient, direct keys. The first and most powerful one is conscious breathing. It's your direct line to the nervous system. Inhale through your nose, counting to 4. Brief pause. Exhale slowly, counting to 8. The exhalation should last twice as long. That's the key. When you lengthen your exhale, the vagus nerve gets a very clear signal that you're safe. Pure physiology. And spiritually, it's even deeper. Are you telling your system that it can let go, that you don't need a second key? It's the sacred cold. You don't need to become a Churtik monk. It's enough to finish your shower with 30 seconds of cold water or splash your face with ice-cold water. You can even place ice at the base of your skull, right where the nerve is most accessible. That little shock resets the system, immediately activates vagal tone, and symbolically cold has always represented purification and energetic cleansing. Cutting off internal noise is uncomfortable, yes, but sometimes discomfort is the doorway. The third key is sound. The vagus nerve passes through the throat and connects to the vocal cords. Vibrations, activation, singing, humming, repeating a mantra, even a simple sustained note. It's not strange mysticism, it's nervous system mechanics. When you live, you vibrate. You directly stimulate the channel, and interestingly, when you sing, it's hard to keep thinking about Monday's disaster.
Casualidad, claro.
You don't feel it's not just being slightly human, it's being human again. Being human is not being mind, and this is just beginning. A gesture as simple as humming your favorite song is already doing more for your nervous system than you imagine. Gargling. Holding a long repeating a mantra like Om or I am light. All of that generates vibration, and the vibration directly stimulates the vagus nerve. Sound is not spiritual decoration, it's a tool for liberation. The fourth key is even more powerful and much more fun: laughter and gratitude. Laugh from your belly, those laughs that make you double over. Sing with enthusiasm even if you're off key. No one is judging your vocal talent. Relax. Or close your eyes for a minute and feel genuine gratitude for being alive. That immediately raises your vagal tone. These aren't just positive thoughts from a motivational calendar. They're measurable states of coherence between the heart and the brain. These are frequencies where the system enters. The fifth key is movement with presence. Nothing complex. You don't need an impossible routine. Just gently move your eyes from left to right several times. Massage your neck and shoulders mindfully. Feel your own hands touching your body. That reconnects the mind with matter. Conscious touch is embodied prayer. It's telling your body, I'm here with you. You're not alone. You're safe. And when you start practicing these keys, something awakens. The vagus nerve comes out of dormancy, and the effects spread on every level. Physically, the changes are clear. The heart rate evens out. Inflammation starts to go down. Digestion improves. The mind becomes clearer. But the most impactful thing can't always be measured. You start to feel presence. Anxiety loses its strength. The past stops chasing you. The future stops shouting at you. You start to inhabit the now. The body stops being a constant source of tension and becomes an anchor of calm. And in that state, something comes back to you. You remember that you didn't come just to survive, that your original design is not permanent exhaustion, that you are a conscious channel between the earth and the sky. The vagus nerve is that sacred thread that connects the human with the divine within you. When you activate it, you not only regulate your nervous system, you reconnect the two halves that should never have been separated. And you stop being a mind trapped in a stressed body, and you become embodied consciousness, living presence. That's why the invitation is clear. Reclaim your temple, breathe deeply, sing in the shower without shame, laugh out loud, be grateful for what already is, move with intention. These are not small acts, they are devotion in action. Every time you do it, you are honoring the life that flows through you. Within you, there is a temple where spirit and biology embrace each other at every moment. Access has always been there. Now then, if vibrations influence your system, if words modulate your internal state, then the question is inevitable. Are there decrees or specific words that can further amplify the activation of the vagus nerve and accelerate your reconnection process? Do you want me to reveal what they are?